Hey you guys, I'm going to need y'all help with something real quick because let's start here. So I know you probably don't know this about me, but I honestly hate watching the news. It's like it's always so negative and biased, right? I think a lot of us can relate to Trump when he started calling it fake news. If you're going to watch anything on there, you really have to think deeper and do your own research. So lately though, I've been tuning in more because there's a lot of major changes happening in America right now. And I want to stay informed and educate myself on what's really going on. So while watching some new clips just a few minutes ago, I was gonna say just a while ago, I came across a segment where they mentioned a statement made by Obama. I really love to hear your thoughts and help me figure this one out. Here's the clip.
Or on what the White House is weighing in with. Peter.
Harris, we had a chance to ask President Trump himself what he thinks about new Democratic plans to counter Republicans with new maps of their own.
Redrawing their congressional map would get you 5 safe red seats. Means that California, New York, Illinois, and Maryland are all going to redraw their maps to add safe.
Well, they'll do it anyway.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, they'll do it anyway. Why? If we stop over there, they would have done it anyway.
Eric Holder was one of Barack Obama's attorney generals. He's been working on redistricting for years. His group's website warns about maps being redrawn unfairly by election deniers. And Barack Obama himself is now saying we can't lose focus on what matters. Right now, Republicans in Texas are trying to gerrymander district lines to unfairly win 5 seats in next year's midterm elections. This is a power grab that undermines our democracy. But there is one president at a time, and the current one wants to do whatever is necessary to let Texas move forward with this new map that adds the 5 safe red seats.
Do you want the federal government and the FBI to help locate and arrest these Texas Democrats who have left the state?
Well, I think they've abandoned the state. Nobody's seen anything like it, even though they've done it twice before. And in a certain way, it almost looks like they've abandoned.
Help me understand, why is it that Barack Obama continues to publicly speak on behalf of the Democratic Party regarding redistricting and other top political headlines? He's no longer president, yet he often shares his opinions and weigh in on current events. Like, what is going on here? You don't see other former presidents doing this to the same extent, especially when President Trump is in office addressing these issues directly. Why is Obama still positioned as the voice for the party? And why does the media continue to elevate his commentary over current leadership? Let me just say this, because I know some people get a little sensitive when people bring up Barry. And I get it. I truly believe he has some great qualities. And I actually voted for him because I genuinely thought he was going to unite Americans. I was also hopeful because he came from a multiracial family, and I believe that background would allow him to be fair to both Black and white Americans to help bridge our historical divides. But over time, I realized I was misled. And I'm honestly grateful for that experience because it taught me an important lesson. From that point on, I began praying and seeking God before making any decisions about who I voted for. Even if someone ended up being a total con man, I could still have peace knowing I bought it to God first. And that reminds me, I was recently having an open conversation with some other women who said they were Christians, and we were discussing who we thought will be the best presidential candidate. And one of the ladies made it very clear that she doesn't mix her Christian faith with politics. That really stood out to me because personally, I don't separate the two. I'm a Christian all the time, not just when it's convenient. Now, I'm far from perfect, but I truly do my best to live that out hour by hour. Picking up where I left off, I understand people respect Obama's influence, but there's a bigger concern here. We elect presidents to lead during their term, not to overshadow future administrations. When former presidents continuously step into the spotlight on current political issues, it blurs the lines of leadership and accountability. Why is the Democratic Party still leaning on Obama's voice instead of empowering their current leaders to speak with authority? You don't see Bush or Clinton stepping into today's headlines like this. At some point, the focus should be on the current elected officials, not on a figure from the past still shaping narratives behind the scenes. Last I heard, Barry had some really serious allegations against him. For starters, the Russian Gate conspiracy. Tulsi Gabbard, who is now the DNI under Trump, claims Obama and senior officials orchestrated a treason conspiracy by fabricating or politicizing intelligence to falsely implicate Donald Trump in the 2016 election as a Russian asset. She formally referred Obama and other administrative leaders to the Department of Justice for possible prosecution, alleging they manipulated intelligence to delegitimize Trump's victory. And two, the DOJ grand jury investigation, Attorney General Pam Bundy has launched a grand jury probe into whether Obama-era officially improperly used federal intelligence agencies to influence the 2016 election narrative. So what I'm saying, that should be enough for him to have on his plate. And if that is not enough that's on his plate, I don't know what's going on in his marriage. I'm someone who truly values marriage, children, and family. That's just the kind of person I am. So when it comes to others' marriages, I usually prefer not to comment. I rather pray that things work out for them. But I recently came across a short clip that really caught my attention. It seemed like Obama was saying that young boys needed membership from gay men or something along those lines. And I remember thinking, like, wait, what? That's that came across extremely bizarre. Now, don't quote me on it because I'm not sure I caught the full context, but didn't he say something like that on his wife's podcast? But anyways, that's how my mind works. When something doesn't sit right, the questions start rolling in. My brain literally goes, wait, what? Isn't it typical for most former presidents to stay publicly silent, and especially on current issues? Because George W. Bush rarely comments on current political debates. Occasionally, he speaks on broad topics like veteran civility or democracy, but avoids daily headlines or partisan battles. Bill Clinton, after leaving office, Clinton's role became more behind the scenes, focusing on global initiatives for the Clinton Foundation. He does not publicly lead the Democratic Party's messaging. George H.W. Bush and Ronald Reagan both stepped back from active political commentary after their presidency, focusing on philanthropy and memoirs. And the late Jimmy Carter focused on humanitarian work and faith and initiative through the Carter Center, and generally avoid commenting on partisan politics. But not Barry. His post-presidency is different. He openly endorsed candidates in key races. He publicly critiques Republicans-led policies like immigration, voting laws, redistricting. He is often seen as the shadow leader of the Democratic Party, especially when current Democratic figures like Biden or Harris avoid direct public confrontation. Media platforms still give him significant attention, elevating his statements as if he's an active political leader, not a former president. What is that? It's like he is completely going against American tradition. Former presidents step back. Historically, after leaving office, presidents avoid interfering with their successors' leadership. This is an unwritten rule to preserve the peaceful transfer of power in respect to the will of the people. It reflects a belief that no one person is above the office of the presidency or the democratic process. It made me think of the hypocrisy in accusing Trump. I'm pretty sure we all remember how Democrats accused Donald Trump of refusing to let go of power. However, Obama's continuous public influence, strategic involvement, and behind-the-scenes leadership contradicts that same principle. While Trump challenged the outcome of an election, Obama is continuously interfering in the ongoing of governance and political direction, which also challenges the tradition of stepping aside. Isn't that unprofessional and anti-American from a traditionalist and constitutional perspective? It undermines the spirit of the office. While Obama isn't holding formal office, his active role can be seen as disrespecting the boundaries of former presidents, which is unprofessional in the sense of disturbing the chain of leadership. It feeds a perception of a political class that refuses to relinquish control, which is what they accuse Trump of. It is incredible that I don't hear the outrage. Why is that? Help me understand. What makes this concerning to many Americans? The blurred lines of leadership. It creates confusion about who is really leading the Democratic Party, influence without accountability. Obama shapes narratives and public sentiment, yet he is not an elected official subject to the consequences of current policy decisions. It undermines current presidents. His ongoing presence can overshadow current office holders, influencing public perception in ways former presidents traditionally avoid. No other former president has maintained Obama's level of active political influence in modern times. His continued public commentary, involvement in political strategy, and media presence are unprecedented, especially compared to Bush, Clinton, or Carter, who traditionally respected the informal norm of stepping aside after the term ended. At the end of the day, can we all just agree to support our sitting president? Let's not lose sight here. This isn't about political parties. It's about the American people, us. We all have the right to vote fairly and legally for the candidate we believe will best represent our values and needs. But once the votes are counted, we don't get to throw temper tantrums if our candidate doesn't win. That's a reality many Americans face every election cycle. Okay, that's all for now. I truly hope you guys consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. I love to build an online community with you, one where we can have honest, respectful conversations and grow together. And before I go, I have to ask, does anyone else find it extremely bizarre how Obama continues to disrupt long-standing American traditions? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really curious to hear y'all perspective. I'll chat with you later.